Hello again, Michael Ware with the Iowa Firearms Coalition. We're bringing to you again Warrior Wednesday, and today we've got Nate Erlmeyer with TIO, and TIO stands for True Impact Outdoors. We've been wanting to have these guys on for a while. I'm glad when we reached out that they were willing and able to do that. When I say these guys, I mean this group of volunteers. So speaking as one volunteer to another, we're glad to have you on, Nate. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. So first question here is tell me a little bit about True Impact Outdoors and what you've got going on. I'd like for people to understand what TIO is.
Okay. True Impact Outdoors is a nonprofit based out of kind of the Des Moines, Osceola area of Iowa here. And basically what we do is we like to get together disabled veterans, and also we've been bleeding into first responders also that are disabled that could use a little help. And we just try to get everybody back in the outdoors. Basically we cover anybody from PTSD to physical disabilities, anywhere along the board. If you have a disability, we're going to do anything we can to help you out. We take a lot of veterans hunting, fishing, camping, a little bit of everything, just anything to get a group together. One of the things that I have found the most common is if we do a hunt or fishing event, the coolest thing is when the veterans meet each other and they get comfortable with each other and they start bonding. It makes the event itself, the actual hunting or fishing, is kind of the second thing that's good for them. They enjoy the camaraderie that they have made with the new veterans and that they've just met, and so many people have made really good friends that they never knew once before. So that's kind of a quick way to say what we do.
Well, I think that I might be able to understand that a little bit. I think that it's normal for, in terms of our core empathy, to be able to form a bond and I guess, strengthen a brotherhood, if you will, with somebody that knows a little bit about what we're experiencing or has some sort of, I don't know, special relate. You know what I'm saying? So I could see that. I guess I never thought about that before. I'm glad you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm adding the.
It's.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say it's the camaraderie just becomes amazing. It is so awesome to see you veterans help each other. We're just kind of getting stuff together, coordinating it. You guys all take care of each other so well when you're together. It's just awesome to see.
Okay, so I'm on your website. I'm sharing that screen right now. And right there, when you land on trueimpactoutdoors.com, at TIO, we love all things outdoors with a deep appreciation for our nation's heroes. We are giving back to those who dedicated them to serving and protecting. Our focus is to offer outdoor activities to the military and first responder veterans, allowing them to break from day-to-day challenges. That's absolutely fantastic. So for those of you who are still trying to decipher what we were talking about, there you go. One of the reasons that we wanted to have you guys on and have somebody from TIO visit with us is we've got a couple guys that volunteer at the Iowa Firearms Coalition who are telling us in no uncertain terms, have you been to a TIO banquet? Well, no, haven't been to a TIO banquet. And then the conversation quickly progressed. Like, no, hold on. We went past that too quick. And so Dylan was one of them. And I said, well, what's the deal? He says, this thing's absolutely unbelievable. He said, you can't believe how well run, how well staffed and well stocked this benefit is. He said, this is that what you call it, a benefit or a gala? What is it?
I would call it a benefit. Yes. It's
okay. All right.
Basically, it's the way we make the money to do what we do. So,
all right. Well, your fundraisers are apparently a grand slams from what I can tell. So, fantastic job, by the way. Now, if we want to go to those, if we want to go to those and donate and all that kind of stuff, should we use your website, or what are you suggesting, Nate?
You could use our website. We also have a Facebook page. Our Facebook page does have a link on it to purchase tickets. We have different options, either single tickets. With that ticket, you get a meal and then you get to enjoy the fun of the night. We do have a table option, which seats 8 people. It's 8 meals. With that purchase and sponsorship, if you have a business or whatever, we do advertise your business throughout the night, just to kind of tell everybody who is here spending money and raising funds for us. So there's a couple different options there. Those people that know me, obviously, they can call me and I can find them tickets, or Matt Obremt, our president, or any of the other board members. Or if you've ever met anybody that's done something with TIO, they can definitely send you in the correct direction to get tickets.
Fantastic. All right. So let me ask you this. Is there an origin story, or is there a foundational story for how True Impact Outdoors began? I'm curious about that.
Well, I'll kind of start it this way. Matt Oberum is our president and Anthony Mears is our vice president. And they were college roommates, and they kind of started coming up with it in college, been quite a few years ago now. And it's been in the back of both of their minds for quite a few years to start something like this. And in 2018, they kind of brought it to fruition and got it going. Anthony himself is still active. He's active duty Marine right now, and he's out in California right now. He's hoping to retire within 5 years from the Marines. But something that I believe really also helped get it started is Matt Oberum's little brother, Chris, was also a Marine, or I should say still is, but he is retired, and he's actually a fireman for the city of Des Moines right now. But that's kind of when it started. So that would be, that's quite a few years ago now. The whole idea started, but in 2018, True Impact Outdoors dug in and got going. I jumped on as a board member in 2019. There was a few other board members that were involved from the beginning. Multiple were also active duty military, and they have since either got deployed or somewhere else, and they didn't feel like they could do the job the way they needed to do to be a part of the board to advance us along. So they actually stepped away, which is understandable. So we've been going for quite a while now, obviously, since 2018, and we picked up a few new board members along the way. Cole Henry of Golf Cars Iowa, he's a board member. Matt's wife Nicole and we're board members, and kind of keep this thing rolling. But without all of the volunteers that we've had, there's no way we could make this happen. It takes a lot of work to get this going, and we all have jobs and families to take care of too. So, it's a busy deal, but it's okay. It's definitely worth it.
Well, describe for people who are listening what a gesture from TIO might look like. Joe Smith, veteran, comes to you, or you identify them, A, why, and B, what might you guys do together? Give me an idea what that looks like.
Well, so basically we have to kind of go through our veterans, and they have to have doctor's permission and everything. They have to pass everything to come aboard, because obviously we are handling firearms and everything else. So for insurance purposes, we have to make sure all of that is safe. But anytime we have an event, we all get together the first day and just talk, get to know one another, get comfortable with one another. The veterans and volunteers, we bring them all together, and we spend the first few hours of the first day really getting to know one another, and then we kind of deploy off into our own little groups. Every veteran has a volunteer with them throughout every event or two, and if they have a caretaker or a wife or husband or just a friend that wants to come with them, they also can come to the event and just kind of see what we have going on, and to make them more comfortable. Because when you're new to anybody, when you're new to an event and don't know anybody, it's nice to have somebody with that you do know. Within those events, it's just, we do anything: deer, turkey, pheasant. Let's see, we've done elk. Duck, spoonbill snagging. I mean, fishing. There, we cover the board on a little bit of everything, and then a yearly camp out that we do down at Honey Creek Resort, where we just bring everybody together. Generally, each event we can only bring so many people at a time, but we like to have event sizes of 7 to 8 veterans up to 15 to 18. We feel like that's a very comfortable size, so we aren't getting too large and leaving anybody out, if you will. But it's become a family. I mean, our main goal is to take the new veterans that come in and get them to a point where they're comfortable and happy enough where they can become a volunteer. Really? And so many of them have become volunteers at our events now. And with that, it just brings a lot of joy to everybody, because you get to know everybody and start laughing and joking, and there becomes a lot of that throughout every event. So,
well, you're describing a family.
That is, we have become a family. We truly have. And we always welcome more new family members on all the time. And we basically go off of word of mouth, and we don't do a heck of a lot of advertising. We'd rather put the money that is given to us back into helping the veterans. So all of that, the advertisement part, it's just Facebook or like you guys and doing this podcast, any advertisement that we're getting off of this, because this could reach a lot of people. So that's the only way we do it. Yeah, we appreciate that.
So let me ask you this. I mean, I gave you a rundown before we hopped on here about a couple of the types of questions that I had hoped to ask. What's been the most challenging thing for either you personally or True Impact Outdoors in your volunteer work, in your advocacy? I'm curious about that.
Challenges. I mean, of course, every day is a challenge. But I think finding new veterans, it is very hard. Veterans are very proud, and they very well should be. And I would say that has been one of the hardest challenges, is finding new veterans all the time. We don't want to, only have the same veterans all the time. We want more veterans all the time to help more people, to broaden what we do, spread out what we do, and get more veterans that need a little bit of help or just need to get out of the house. It has been tough. It's tough because veterans were taught to be proud, and they should be. But sometimes you got to give a little bit to get a little bit. But I would say that would probably be the hardest for TIO. Myself personally, sometimes the hardest thing is walking away at the end of the day or at the end of the event. We've all gotten so close, and there's a lot of texts and phone calls for a few weeks afterwards. You made good friends. Yeah. But that's probably the hardest for me, because it's just tough. You start having a good time, and it's tough to walk away from that.
You are describing in terms of the challenges, the family building and relationship building aspect of this. You're describing what it's like when I get together with my family for the annual deer hunt at our Missouri farm. We go down there and everybody comes in, the brothers, the cousins, the aunts, the uncles, the grand folks. We descend on the old home place. We have a big tada a Friday night before, and there's, laughing and joking, the occasional tear shed, for somebody having gone, whatever else. And telling the story about grandma shooting the one, running over the knoll back in 81. You know what I mean? And all those kinds of things. And then you actually do hunt a little bit, but you don't really want it to end. And it's kind of, there's a sadness associated with stopping and everybody going back their separate ways. But it's absolutely fantastic stuff. And it's very wholesome. It's very healing. And I enjoy doing it. So I think that I've got some small inkling of what True Impact is building. And this sounds fantastic, man. I love it. So how can people be involved? How can people support support veterans? I'd like to know that.
Well, if depending on how you want to be involved, if you want to be involved as a volunteer, you get a lot out of it for yourself being a volunteer. I know it sounds a little selfish, but you really truly do. If you want to be on the volunteer level, to come see what we're doing in person, you can reach out to us either through our website or through Facebook, is the best way. And I want to say our website has Matt's phone number, Matt Obram's phone number. And I believe our Facebook page does also, but you can send private messages. We have somebody that checks our Facebook throughout the day, on and off, and our website and everything. It's not me personally. I'm not very good computer wise. So I stay away from that as much as possible, but that's the best way to reach out. If you're looking to donate monetarily, we do have a donate button on our website, or once again, you can just reach out to us and we can direct you on how to do it. Or if you want to be, join our fundraiser and come to our banquet and do it that way, you can also buy a ticket to come to that. Those are the best ways financially if you'd like to help, or if you have some gear that is in really good shape that we could possibly use, because some of the veterans or first responders that show up don't have the proper gear. Sometimes, generally, we try to keep enough of our own gear in stock to help anybody and everybody that shows up. Sometimes we're a little short, but we're doing good on packing in the gear to make sure everybody has what they need. We do also, what's that? I'm sorry.
Oh, so I said fantastic. Go ahead.
Yeah. We have done really good purchasing gear. We have a lot of volunteers that have helped us purchase the expensive gear, as far as helping quadriplegics hunt, and we do have a few blind veterans that we have helped hunt that have actually got deer or turkey. So they're actually getting it themselves, but with the help of our volunteers and sponsors, we've been able to purchase the correct gear to do that too. So there's multiple ways to help out. Volunteering is always awesome. I mean, sometimes we have an abundance of volunteers, but we do what we can to try to rotate new volunteers in as much as possible so other people can see what we're doing.
Fantastic. So let's see here. What was the other thing that I told you I wanted to visit with you about? Oh, this is something, and this probably isn't, well, I don't know. I'll just ask the question and you can help us. Is there a misconception at all about True Impact Outdoors, about TIO, that you'd like to take an opportunity to clear up? Are there any things that you run across that you're like, oh, actually, I'd like to correct that? Is there anything like that?
I haven't heard too many complaints or questions really on what we're doing.
Okay.
One thing that I have heard a couple times is that, well, you know, if you take the same vet over and over, or first responder over and over, you're not opening up new spots. Well, there's reasons why we do that. If somebody needs a little more, we'll bring them to more events. If they're, you know, some people need to get out more and more to kind of open themselves back up again. And as we see they've grown enough, then we kind of, you know, that's when a lot of times they do turn into a volunteer. But we will bring people on multiple times just so they're getting what they need. And it's hard to determine, you know, if somebody else is getting what they need. But a lot of times their spouses or friends will tell us, you know, hey, so-and-so could really use another hunt. They've been down, or something's happened that they just need to get out there again and be around some of their newfound friends. So we'll make sure that they get on as soon as possible. But people can kind of see it the other way. If they're not there experiencing what we're experiencing and seeing firsthand, they don't know why we have the same person there a couple different times.
Sure.
I would say that's probably the biggest thing that I've seen.
Okay. Well, what you're describing is a scenario where I think, if I'm picking up on what you're laying down, Nate, is some of these things are very fulfilling, but they're also very therapeutic, maybe even cathartic. So I'm glad that somebody be willing to raise their hand and say, yeah, I'd come back for round two, or you would suggest it to them. And now I did kind of find it odd that when you were mentioning earlier, sometimes there aren't people who are willing to come forward. And then I got to thinking about that, and I thought, you know, I can see how somebody would say they might see it as something that was something bestowed upon them that they necessarily didn't deserve, or they didn't want to take. But the truth of the matter is, and I do understand what you're relaying over, that's not the scenario here. This isn't charity in that sense. This is camaraderie. We want you to come participate and join us. And oh, by the way, there's lots of common love and understanding going on here. So why not share it around a little bit? I think it's fantastic. I'm glad you guys exist.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's an honor to do this. It's really humbling to see how much people have grown, or how much they appreciate what we do. It's an honor to do it. I myself did not serve, so this is my way to serve, if you will. I'm serving the men and women that did. So it's an honor to do this. It truly is, and I know we all feel the same way. Yeah, it is great. It truly is.
I believe you. You say that and relay it over with a sense of conviction. Thank you for that. I was glancing over here at the website real quick again. When you were talking about fundraising, I see a Des Moines banquet and a Southern Iowa banquet. I'm curious, what's the power hike?
Oh, it's, I guess, say that again. I have to think about that one a little bit. Ask me that question one more time.
I was looking at the page regarding fundraising, and I saw the Des Moines banquet and the Southern Iowa banquet, but there's another category here that says power hike, and I didn't know if that was going to be debuting, or whether that was something you'd done, or what the scoop was on that.
It is something we have done, and it's been in Missouri. And some of the veterans that were down there at I can't think of the camp right offhand. I'm drawing a blank. I'm sorry. They put it together down there, and just it was a big, I want to say 25-mile hike, I believe, if I remember correctly. I myself, I did not do it. I probably should. Physically, I should do something like that. But it's a big hike. We've been thinking about bringing it back again, more local here, just to bring in other volunteers or anybody that wants to do it as a hike. And the active military members that were doing it in Missouri, I believe it was every 5 miles they'd stop and do 50 push-ups throughout it. And it was a pretty neat deal. And it's something that we've been kind of working on, possibly bringing back more to see if we could get more people involved in that and do that as a fundraising opportunity to see if somebody wants to sponsor somebody for so many miles of the hike.
Okay, I follow.
You're trying to figure out different ways to make donations and to fund what we're doing. You have to start getting kind of creative over time. So it's the more people we help, the more money it takes. So as we've grown, we have to come up with more opportunities and trying to do it in different ways that could get more people involved instead of just a raffle per se or something like that. So that's kind of what that is. So.
Okay. All right. Well, I didn't know if you mentioned one of the camps and it being Missouri. I didn't know if it was Camp Leonard Wood or one of the others. I don't know how many.
Yes, Leonard Wood. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Leonard Wood. I just had a brain fart there. I apologize.
Oh, it's one of the bigger installations down there, if I remember right. But okay, I have one last question for you, if it's okay. Do you have time for one more, Nate?
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think? And this could be on behalf of TIO, True Impact Outdoors, or just yourself. But why don't you share with us what you think the proudest accomplishment is?
Oh boy, that's tough. That is very tough to say, as there's been so many accomplishments and that we've all talked about within the board, the accomplishments that we've had. To really say what has been the greatest, that's a toughie.
Well, what about
a person?
Go ahead.
A person? Okay. I'm going to leave out names because I haven't asked permission to say names, but there's been a couple especially that really hit. We had a gentleman that was in Beirut when the bombing happened over there on the Marine Corps base there, and he made it through, and he's had very bad PTSD and everything since. Really has had a hard time. Wasn't going out to see people, wasn't talking to people. I believe it was his wife that reached out to us and said something, and we got him signed up to our very first event. And this is what's crazy. It was our very first event that we put on, which was a deer hunt down at Honey Creek State Park. And he was excited to come. And at the last second, he decided not to go. And his best friend showed up at his house, went in the house, grabbed his gear. I mean, he was packed and everything. Grabbed his gear, threw it in the truck, and said, "You're getting your butt in the truck, and we're going. And no matter what, you're coming, and you're going to see what this is about." I would say he has become one of our biggest advocates. Wow. It took him a couple years to get comfortable talking with people and opening up, and he actually got on stage at our banquet and spoke about what had happened, which was something that he had never really talked about openly. He spoke about what happened in Beirut. He spoke about what happened with him personally. And to see that and hear it was very powerful. And I think it brought more power back to him. And he's actually volunteered quite a few times now. He's kind of moved up to a volunteer position. Every once in a while, he's still, even if you're a volunteer, we're still going to get you in for a hunt every once in a while. And he really has opened up. His wife has talked to us multiple times about how we've changed his life. That has been a great one. And then there's another gal that she was Army, had some things happen when she was active duty that were horrific. And same thing, she was really in a bad spot in life. And she has become just amazing. I have a 6-year-old son, and he refers to her as Aunt Joni. Like, she is an aunt now. And she's just an amazing person, but was quiet and kind of in a dark place, and really has come out and really found herself again. And we all think that we were a really big part of that. But like I said, all we do is organize it. You all help each other. None of us know what you guys have all been through or seen or anything like that, but you all do. So you can help each other more than we can. We can help you at all, really. We just facilitate the help. How about that? Fantastic. And that's some of the two of my proudest things that I think that we have done that we're just very proud of. But I could go on and on about that.
Well, you should be. Those are very personal examples, and I think that you answered that question better than what I had hoped that you'd be able to share. Because the truth of the matter is, the kinds of things that we do in our advocacy and our support are very personal. We're very passionate about these things. At the Iowa Firearms Coalition, I mean, we all things Second Amendment, we put ourselves into. It's a volunteer group. We have a board and an executive committee and a range of volunteers that stand there in the concrete at gun shows, 3 days over a weekend, getting fallen arches, and they're standing there glad handing people and helping. And they do this for no money, and they do this with no benefit to themselves. They want to help others and do these kinds of things. And so I understand a little bit about what you're talking about, and to hear you relay over stories of tremendous successes that have altered the trajectory of other people's lives, not just the veteran, but the family around them and their friends or whatever else. I mean, that's a force multiplier for the idea of good. Nate, thank you for that, man. And thank you to your group for that. I mean, that's super cool. Thank you so much for taking some time to come share with us today. I'm really glad that True Impact Outdoors could come on today. Thanks, man.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you reached out, and glad we could sit up here or sit down and have a good talk and kind of tell you all what we're doing. And we appreciate your support. And I hope that there's some veterans out there that hear this, and if you could use a little help, you reach out to us, or if there's somebody looking to volunteer or whatever, reach out to us. Let's get it going. So
okay, I see trueimpactoutdoors.com. There's a Facebook page. It shows Instagram and YouTube, although I didn't follow those links. But there are multiple ways that people could reach out to you. And what expectations should they have when they do reach out? Are you how quickly do you assume that they would hear back, and how would that work? I mean, give me an idea.
It's usually you'll hear back from somebody within a day or so. Sometimes it's quicker. Like I said, it's tough to manage all of it without having somebody full time that can do it. Like I said, we all have jobs and families, so we're trying to juggle everything we can. Sure. But usually somebody reaches out pretty darn quick and does whatever we can, answers any questions we can, or tries to fit you in somewhere. So,
okay. All right. I think that takes us to the very end. Was there anything else, Nate Erlmeyer? I keep flubbing that up. My bad. That we need to know before we part ways.
You know, there's always a place for you, whether it be with True Impact Outdoors or another organization like us. I know there's many around here in the state now. I like to say we're all on the same page, all trying to do the same thing. So whether it's with us or one of the other organizations, and you feel like you could use something like this, step up and do it. Like I said, whether it's with us or somebody else, it doesn't matter. We're all here trying to do the same thing. Reach out. It's not as hard as you would think. It may be tough at the beginning, but it will be worth it in the end.
Fantastic. You know, it's kind of funny. I was telling my wife this in a conversation that had to do with some discipleship at church, and the same conversation, which is a different subject, came up with my daughter, and the result was, listen, this is hard. And oh, by the way, it's almost always going to be the right thing when it's hard, because the easy stuff is almost never worth doing. So it is hard work, but it appears to be very valuable. And I can't tell you how glad I am that we got you on here and you spent a little time. So Nate, thank you. TIO is the acronym, and it's trueimpactoutdoors.com. Thank you so much for being on with us today. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.